My dear learners of Standard 8, it's a very good morning and welcome back to my today's online class. Hopefully, you all are safe at home by the blessings of Almighty Allah. Previously, I had started the chapter 8, that is disasters in Bangladesh. And in that day, I already discussed about the disasters. There are two types of disasters, natural and artificial disaster. Today, I will start a disaster, that is the man-made disaster, that is global warming. So this global warming is an international phenomena and a man-made disaster. Dear learners, we must have to plant a tree and we must have to save the planet where we live on. First, we will know about the global warming. You know, the earth has flora and fauna as it has suitable environment for them. So, what is flora and fauna? The flora is the plant and fauna is the animals. That means the plants and animals which are suitable or which have the adaptation capability with the respective environment. And water, air and the other necessary elements together constitute the suitable environment, you know. And this global warming is the phenomena of a gradual increase in the temperature near the earth's surface. This phenomena has been observed over the past 1 or 2 centuries. This change has distributed the climatic pattern of the earth. Due to global warming, the environment is hugely endangered. So, the gradual increase of the surface temperature of the earth is the global warming. And dear learners, in fact, as the amazing discoveries of science have made our life easy and comfortable, but they have either damaged or made an imbalance in the environment too. And due to the huge boom of population, deforestation, mills and factories along with the engine-run vehicles are destroying the balance of the ecology. So, for this global warming, the environment is hugely endangered. And the layer of atmosphere absorbs the heat of the sun and scatters it on the surface of the globe. Thus, the heat of the world increases and this increasing heat is known as global warming. Previously, you have learned something about the greenhouse. That means, what is greenhouse? In cold countries, plants cannot survive due to much coldness, isn't it? So, to produce vegetables in too much cold countries, glass houses are constructed called the greenhouse. In winter season, when the sun is available for a short period, the sunlight enters through the glass and makes air, plants and soil heated. Heat from this house tries to radiate out, but after the increase of temperature, heat cannot go out through the glasses. As a result, glass house remains warm during night and the plants inside remain alive. So, this phenomena of retention of heat is the glass house, is called the greenhouse effect. So, our earth can be compared with the greenhouse. So, let us know about greenhouse. Greenhouse, also called a glass house, or if with sufficient heating, a hot house. So, is a structure with walls and roof made chiefly of transparent materials such as glass, in which plants requiring regulated climatic conditions are grown. These structures range in size from small sheds to industrial sized buildings. So, we can compare our earth with a glass house because the earth is surrounded by the atmosphere, you know, and the atmosphere contains the carbon dioxide, methane and water vapor which act like greenhouse gases. They don't resist heat from the sun from coming, so heats from the sun make the earth heated. So, dear learners, some greenhouse gases are responsible to make the greenhouse effect. So, what are these greenhouse gases? Follow. Greenhouse gases are those that absorb and emit infrared radiation in the wavelength range emitted by earth. Gases like carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, ozone, chlorofluorocarbon, hydrochlorofluorocarbon, water vapor etc. are combinedly known as greenhouse gas. These greenhouse gases are highly responsible for occurring the global warming. And previously I have told you that the glass house remain warm during the night and the plants inside remain alive by getting the sunlight at daytime. So, this phenomena of retention of heat in the glass house is called the greenhouse effect. So, dear learners, follow the image, the greenhouse effect. This is the sun. So, some solar radiation is reflected by earth and the atmosphere. And you know about the atmosphere from the very beginning of the higher class, that is the change of climate also. Your earth is surrounded by atmosphere, and there are four controlling factors, basic four controlling factors. These are temperature, atmospheric pressure, wind, flow of wind, and humidity of the atmosphere of an area. So, the overall the weather pattern of the area is changing day by day, and in normal this weather and climate will lead a normal life, and due to increase of temperature of the atmosphere, the climate of the earth is also changing. So, Bangladesh is harmed due to climate change also. So, some solar radiation is reflected by earth and the atmosphere, and some radiation is absorbed by the earth surface and warm it. And follow here, this is the earth surface, and it is surrounded by the four layers of the atmosphere, and here the infrared radiation is emitting by earth surface also due to the occurrence of or causing different types of activities by the human beings, and some of the infrared radiation passes through the atmosphere. Some is absorbed by greenhouse gases and re-emitted in all directions by the atmosphere. The effect of these two, warm earth surface and the lower atmosphere. So, dear learners, here the heat is coming. So, if we look at this picture, the greenhouse gas has formed a layer around the globe, and what is its impact? This layer absorbs heat from the sun and then scatters it on the surface of the globe. Thus, the heat of the world increases, and this increasing heat is known as global warming, we know, and due to this problem the air and the earth are getting warmer gradually, and the sea surface is gradually going up. So, causes of global warming. The main elements of air or atmosphere are nitrogen and oxygen, and besides a little amount of carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide are also available in the air along with some vapor and ozone gas. So, you are well known about the different types of constituents or the elements of the atmosphere in standard 7, and the less important gases are called the greenhouse gases. So, here the main cause behind the climate change in Bangladesh as well as the world is the global warming. The greenhouse gases are highly responsible for global warming. When the percentage of carbon dioxide increases in the atmosphere, climate is changed. And dear learners, due to the greenhouse gases, carbon dioxide has increased 25% in the atmosphere in last 1 century, that means 100 years. Similarly, nitrous oxide has increased 19% and methane has increased 100%. These are the main reasons of occurring global warming. And here the greenhouse gases are highly responsible for global warming. Developed countries are using nuclear power plants that produce loads of mercury, lead and arsenic that are liable for global warming. So, they are destroying the ecology by their increasingly high use of fossil fuel. Many of these countries are using nuclear plants that use waste. This waste also increases greenhouse gas, but its role in global warming is very little. So, not only that, the industrial waste and black fumes produce loads of mercury, lead and arsenic that are also liable for global warming. So, here at present, many of the water bodies are either dried up or filled up. Many of them are used for waste discharge. Thus, rivers are being abused in many developing countries. That results in global warming. Dear learners, the oceans are compared to the lungs of human body. They have significant role in controlling world temperature. As you know, the water bodies control the world temperature, but they are gradually getting polluted as radioactive waste are thrown there. It pollutes vapors that mix up with the air and increases world temperature. Though Bangladesh is a small country, once it had many rivers, pools, canals, marshlands, etc. And you are well known that there are 230 rivers and rivulets in our country. They had vital roles in controlling temperature. Currently, many of them are either dried up or truly filled up, or many of them are used for waste discharge. So thus rivers are being abused in many developing countries, that results in global warming. Then continuous deforestation, that means percentage of carbon dioxide increases and the percentage of oxygen decreases. So deforestation is another important factor in this regard or for occurring the global warming. You know, the green trees take in carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and leave out oxygen for us. But due to massive deforestation, what happened? The amount of oxygen is getting minimized and the amount of carbon dioxide is getting maximized in the air. As a result, the amount of harmful CFC gas rises up to damage the ozone layer. And you know about the layer of the atmosphere. The closest layer of the earth is troposphere, which has an average height of 12 km from the sea level. The next one is ozone layer, and it is extended up to 20 km, and the ozone layer is the part of stratosphere, and the ozone layer absorbs the ultraviolet rays of the sun and saves the flora of the earth. Due to emission of these ozone layers, there is a rise of 5% ultraviolet ray in the earth's surface. This is also a cause of global warming. Then using excessive amount of nitrogenous fertilizer and pesticides in agriculture. So in addition with these causes, artificial irrigation, use of nitrogen fertilizer and pesticides in agriculture have roles in damaging the ozone layer, which ultimately contribute to global warming. Then destruction of hills. Dear learners, we have learnt about climate change in Bangladesh in class 7. Then one of the major reasons of climate change is global warming. So in fact, global warming has panicked the whole world, including Bangladesh. So now I will discuss about the global warming, that means the effect of global warming in our ecology and lifestyle. So global warming, this warmer the atmosphere and oceans, rising the sea level, changing rainfall pattern, expansion of deserts in the subtropics, that means is usually the northern part of our country, more flooding in coastal areas, southern part of our country, melting of polar ice caps, melting of glaciers, more extreme weather events, ocean acidification, acid rain occurs, then extinction of the animal and plant species, that means flora and fauna day by day getting extinct, then food security threat for humans. So one by one we will know now impact of global warming. How global warming may affect the ecology and lifestyle in Bangladesh. So amount of rainfall during monsoon is decreasing, winter is arriving late and leaving early. So the weather and climatic phenomena has been changed. The number of natural disasters is increasing day by day. Severity of drought increasing, flood and tidal wave is on the rise. So natural phenomena has been changed, or natural disasters attacking us a lot. Rivers and canals are dried up. Then the polar ice is melting abnormally due to increase of the temperature of the atmosphere of Earth. Due to melting ice, what happened? The sea level is rising. So as a result, the low-lying southern regions and many countries adjacent to the sea level are at risk being submerged. So dear learners, as the sea level of the southern part of our country is rising due to global warming, what happens? Sea water will enter in the coastal areas, and you know the sea water contains the saline water. So due to salinity in sea water, trees and forest, fisheries and crops will be massively ruined, and this situation is already evident in our country Bangladesh. Global warming is already damaging the mangrove forest, our Sundarban, which is situated at the southern part of our country. We know that the biodiversity in the Sundarban is already at stake. So the seawater will enter the coastal areas. Due to salinity in seawater, tree, forest, fishery, crop will be massively ruined. Then what happened? Therefore, lands are losing fertility, and it has affected the agricultural production. Besides, many species of trees and sweetwater fish have been lost in the meantime. So all these have adverse impact on people's life and livelihood. People are going to cities for their survival. So the cities are getting overburdened. Then the ultraviolet rays of the sun enters into the world directly. As a result, human beings and other animals are suffering from several types of diseases like cancer, skin disease, etc. Climate change is destroying the ecological balance. So, you have heard the names of Isla and Cedar. Two natural disasters have immensely ravaged lives and resources at the coastal areas. The desertification of the northern part of our Bangladesh is an example of global warming. So, global warming will result in flood, drought, salinity. As a consequence, there will be shortage of food for livestock and different types of diseases will spread. So, considering all these negative aspects, we need to take cautious steps to face the problems of climate change. How can we prevent this global warming, or what can man do to keep climate normal? So greenhouse gases should have to remove from atmosphere by any means. Then by reducing burning of coal, petroleum and natural gas, use of renewable energy, solar energy or wind may be used for producing electricity, we can reduce emission of carbon dioxide, because adequate tree plantation is needed for this. And we know a single tree can absorb 1 ton of carbon dioxide over its lifetime. Next, use organic fertilizer instead of using chemical fertilizers in the agricultural field. Turning off electric devices when it is not used, because one tree can absorb the amount of carbon dioxide released by an average car that has been driven for 4,000 miles, and using a screensaver on the computer emits 1.1 kg of carbon dioxide. So we must have to turning off electric devices when it is not used. The oceans are compared to the lungs of human body. So they have significant role in controlling world temperature. So we should not pollute the water body throwing radioactive substances over there. So dear learners, to react to this, you must have to cautious about the global warming and plant at least 1 tree at your home. So stop global warming. Thank you all. Stay safe and stay blessed at your home.